Joy Guru. Today's topic of discussion is whether the decision of Vibhishan to abandon, to desert, to forsake, to leave his elder brother Ravana was justified, was prudent, was correct, was right. Now, this discussion has already been much debated, not that it is something new, but still I would like to say somewhat special. Now, my considered and reticent opinion is that the decision of Vibhishan to abandon, to desert his elder brother Ravana was justified, well thought, I should say absolutely correct. Now, it is well known fact that a large section of people believe that yes, the decision of Vibhishan to desert Ravana was a justified decision. But at the same time, some people, and they are no less in number, they believe that no, the decision of Vibhishan to abandon Ravana was not a correct decision, was not a sensible decision, was not a sensitive decision. Now, for them, I should say, they actually argue that the greatest sin in this universe is the breaking of trust, is the breaking of one's trust. Even they argue that the sin that Ravana did by abducting Sita, the wife of Lord Ramachandra, that was definitely a great sin, but the Vibhishan committed even greater sin by breaking the trust of Ravana. And however, this is also a fact that because of this particular decision, many people used to say this phrase that Vibhishan, in Bengali it is called Ghar Shatru Vibhishan. It means enemy within house. So, Vibhishan is designated as enemy within house. This bad attribute, I should say, this bad adjective is given to Vibhishan. So, from very many points, they argue that this decision of Vibhishan was not correct, was not sensible decision. Well, I understand, we understand that Ramachandra was a virtuous man. Yes, he was an ideal, but after all, his elder brother Ravana was his kin, and Vibhishan was the Annadas of Ravana. That is, Annadas means one who is enslaved of one's, of one because for their food and maintenance. So, in this condition, Vibhishan should give much importance for loyalty than righteousness. These are some of their, I should say, arguments. Now, let us consider in this connection a statement, or you can say, yes, an answer of Sri Thakur Anukula Chandra. You see, one day, to be specific, on 2nd June 1952, when Sri Thakur Anukula Chandra was attending an audience at Deoghar Dham, you see, it is presently at Jharkhand state of India. Then Ray Archer Hauserman, he was an American, he was an American devotee of Sri Thakur Anukula Chandra. He posed this question, or rather, he wanted to know whether the decision of Vibhishan to abandon Ravana was justified, was correct. You see, Sri Thakur Anukula Chandra gave a suitable answer, and he gave the answer in Bengali. I have translated it. So, therefore, I must say that my translation may have several mistakes. However, the essence is more or less like this. That is, Sri Thakur Anukula Chandra has stated that his abandonment is for ideal, is for model, is for Ishto. Ishto means love Lord, who is auspicious, and his abandonment is for truth, is for virtue, is for righteousness. Ravana was no ideal person. He had no principle of his own. He had no good principles of his own. And when Bibhishan saw Ramachandra, he immediately got melted. Then, at least then, that is at that point of time, to Bibhishan, none was above Ramachandra. At that moment, his devotion, his attachment to his Ishto, means in this case Lord Ramachandra, was far more stronger than his duty or obligation, you see, for his brother. And he has also stated, that is, Sri Thakur Ankul has also stated that Bhishma, however, in spite of respect and reverence towards Lord Krishna, could not abandon Kauravas in the plea of duty or obligation. This act of Bhishma was not proper, was not right, was not prudent on his part. A person needs to abandon any duty, any obligation for Ishto, for truth. If, however, that duty, that obligation, proves an impediment, an obstacle for, for performing duty for his love Lord, that is for his Ishto. Then he has quoted the sloka, I think 66th sloka of the 18th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna has stated, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam brajo aham tvam sarva papebho mokshayosi sami ma sucho. So this was the answer of Sri Thakur Anukula Chandra. And in this connection, I would like to say that my answer is definitely what Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra stated. I am absolutely at one with the statement, with the answer of Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra. Now let me give my arguments in favor of that. You see, as we all know, that Ravana was not an ideal person. He abducted Sita, which was a heinous crime, to say the least. And not only that, he wanted to, he wanted to actually marry Sita Devi, and he did his level best. But however, he could not touch Sita Devi, not because of his sheer generosity, not at all. This is a wrong conception. This is a wrong perception, I should say. Yes, when Sita Devi was in Lanka, then Ravana could not touch him. Yes, it is a fact that Ravana did not touch her. But the reason why, you see, this reason many persons may not know. The reason is not because of his generosity. Actually, he wanted to touch her, but because of a curse given by Nal Kuber. He has given this curse that whenever you would like to perform any evil act with a woman, and if she is not willing, then at that moment, whenever you will touch her, that at that moment you will be burnt into ashes. This was his curse. So definitely, because of the fear of this curse, and definitely that the curse would be executed without any doubt whatsoever. That's the reason why, you see, Ravana did not touch Sita. But just see how pious, how virtuous, how righteous Lord Ramachandra was. You see, he didn't do any wrong, but still, you see, without any, rather I should say, because of sheer, rather Ravana wanted to satisfy his ego. You see, he wanted to satisfy his desire. He wanted to satisfy his lust, and that's why he abducted Sita. This is the fact. Nobody can deny it. So therefore, and Bibhishan, you see, he gave maximum priority towards dharma, towards virtue over non-virtue, or over unrighteousness. He saw this abduction, he saw this heinous crime of his elder brother, and he tried his level best to convince his elder brother that this act was definitely a heinous act. But Ravana did not pay any heed to his words. This is also a fact. Then Vibhishana immediately, and not only Vibhishana, I should say his wife Sarama, both of them, both of them were virtuous, were pious persons. And I would like to say, when Sita Devi was at Lanka, then Sarama was friendly to Sita Devi, and she protected her from very many humiliation. You see, at that point, particular ambience. So from that particular ambience. So therefore, I would like to say the contribution of Sarama also in this respect. So therefore, and not only that, it is also a fact that Vibhishan was a kind-hearted, compassionate person. But then, as he privileged, dharma, he privileged virtue, he privileged truth, he privileged ishto over his clan, over his kin, and over his families. And this should be the case. This should be the case, because as Sri Thakur Ankul Chandra stated, that no duty, no obligation is above ishto. So who is ishto? As Sri Thakur Ankul Chandra stated, the Ramachandra is the beloved person, he is the most virtuous person. Reason why is because of the fact that, that Ramachandra was the very embodiment of virtue, was the very embodiment of truth, was the very embodiment of justice. So therefore, that Vibhishana, when he saw Ramachandra, yes, at one point of time Ramachandra was an absolute stranger to Vibhishan, but then when he saw Ramachandra, and when he came to know the attributes of Lord Ramachandra, then definitely he got melted because of the good attributes of Lord Ramachandra, and therefore he switched his side from his elder brothers towards Lord Ramachandra, and this decision was absolutely needed because of the fact that this humiliation that Ravana did to Sita. A sensible person cannot stand by, cannot watch this extreme humility. This is definitely not, this is not, I should say, this should not be the nature of a true gentleman. And Vibhishan actually simply did that. Vibhishan was a person who followed a moral compass, who did every deed, who did his every deed, whatever his moral compass said to him. And it was absolutely correct. There was nothing wrong. And in this connection, just see, Sri Thakur Ankul Chandra has given the example of Bhishma. We all know that, Bhishma is a very good character of Mahabharata. And many of us actually admire him because of his very many sacrifices. But then I must say that in spite of his good attributes, in spite of his very good, I should say, contribution to very many spheres, but still, however, he sided with the adharma, he sided with the side of Yudhishthira. Not only that, he witnessed the Vastaharan ceremony. If I say it is ceremony, I should say it was the worst ceremony, and this was the reason why that Yudhishthira ultimately. This was the reason for the, I should say, for the death of Yudhishthira. However, Bhishma actually witnessed the entire episode of Vastraharan, of Draupadi. He did not help. The entire episode was orchestrated by none other than Yudhishthira, who was none other than Duryodhana. So therefore, Duryodhana was the very epitome of non-virtue, was the very epitome of unrighteousness, was the very epitome of untruthfulness. And Bhishma actually witnessed the entire episode. He did not protest. But then, without getting any help from any persons there, ultimately Draupadi solicited, blessings from Lord Krishna. And then Lord Krishna immediately, and as we all know, that her sari extended and she was protected from extreme humiliation and insult, as we all know. And this example, I should say, this episode is ample proof that about Lord Krishna. So what a virtuous what a virtuous person he was. Only he actually supplied the clothes. So therefore, and Bhishma witnessed this scenario, but he didn't protest. Why? The reason why, this is because that Bhishma thought that he was the Annodas, that is one who is enslaved of one for his food and maintenance. He thought that he is taking food and for maintenance he is grateful to I should say Duryodhana. This is entirely a bad, this is not a plea. This cannot be a, I should say, an excuse to take side of Duryodhana, who is the very epitome, who is the very embodiment of, you see, unrighteousness, untruthfulness. You see, but just see, Vidur did not take side of Duryodhana. You see, because of the fact he didn't make himself Annodas of Duryodhana. So this should be the case. So Sri Thakur Ankul Chandra has given this example, Bhishma. You see, it's because just to show that even Bhishma, being a very respectful person, I should say respectful person, he did wrong. He did actually non-virtue. He did unrighteousness by taking side of Duryodhana. So not only that, and lastly, Sri Thakur Ankul Chandra actually had quoted this 66th sloka of 18th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, as I have already stated, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam saranam braja aham tvang sarva papebhyo mokshayasi samima suchaho. It means that abandoning all the rights and duties, take refuge in me alone. I shall free you from all sin. See, and you must not, so therefore you must not grieve. What does it indicate? It means that I am the self. I am the being of all beings. I am free. See, I am free from being in the womb, in the old age, in death, and I am imperishable. I will free you from all the sins. How? By revealing my own nature. So this is the promise that Lord Krishna did, and actually he did it. So therefore, abandoning Lord Krishna, I should say, without hearing the consultation of Lord Krishna, Bhishma did the wrong thing. Bhishma took the side of Duryodhana. You see, thinking himself that he is even more wiser than Lord Krishna. This is the fallacy. I should say this is the wrong, I should say, that Bhishma actually did. And not only that, Lord Krishna, you see, had also stated, I think at 11th sloka of 10th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where he is telling like that, Tesam evo onukampartham aham agyanajam tamoho nashayami atma bhavastho jnana deepena vashyata. What does it mean? That out of compassion for them, you see, I, residing in their hearts, destroy the dark born of ignorance with the luminous lamp of knowledge. So therefore, he is the very embodiment of knowledge. He is the very embodiment of wisdom. That is Lord Krishna. And without hearing the consultation, without hearing the advice of Lord Krishna, what Bhishma did was an absolute, I should say, was an absolute non-virtue, was an absolute untruth, was an absolute, I should lie. So therefore, even yes, we respect Bhishma for very many reasons, but it is also a case, it is also a fact that Bhishma took the side of Duryodhana. You see, this we cannot forget. This is also a fact. It means that he ignored the advice of Lord Krishna, who was the very embodiment of virtue, who was the very embodiment of knowledge and wisdom. So therefore, this is also a fact. Not only this, I should like to say, in conclusion, I would like to say that Vibhishan actually did not abandon, did not forsake, did not desert Ravana for, or rather out of jealousy, or he wanted to be the king, he wanted the kingdom, he wanted to be the king of Lanka. No, this reason, this was not the reason, that Vibhishan actually deserted Ravana. Not at all. It is because of sheer virtue, it is because of sheer truth, it is because of sheer righteousness, Vibhishan took the side of Lord Ramachandra, and he did the right thing. There is no doubt about it. And ultimately, as we all know, the Ramachandra, however, made him immortal. Why? He said that you stay here till the end of time, because you will show the people the path of truth, the path of virtue, the path of righteousness. And by following your example, people will go, or we can say people will follow the path of truth, the path of, I should say, path of devotion, path of, path of virtue. So therefore, it is also a fact, and it is also said that Vibhishan is immortal. It is written in the, I think in the Uttarakhand of Valmiki Ramayana. If we go through the Uttarakhand kind of Valmiki Ramayana, we get this thing that Vibhishan, is immortal. That is, it is because of the fact that Ramachandra, Lord Ramachandra made him immortal, because of the fact that he is telling that by seeing your example, by watching your example, people would be virtuous, people would be, I should say, righteous, and people would get the, direction how to achieve, rather how to be truthful, how to be virtuous. So therefore, in conclusion, I would like to say that whatever Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra has stated regarding the in favor of the decision that Vibhishana took, by abandoning, by forsaking, by deserting Ravana, I think it is, this I should say, these arguments that Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra put forward were absolutely correct. At least it is my personal opinion. Of course, you may have your own different opinions. Yes, you are at liberty to think so, but this is my humble, I should say, submission. So, live in love. Joy Guru.